Yo, what's up YouTube? How are you doing tonight? I'm recording at night, but if you're watching this directly after the last video I uploaded, everything probably looks the same, but it's actually a couple days later. Today, I want to talk about how to get good, right? This is also one of the first videos that I've ever scripted. I have a whole bunch of notes in front of me of what I want to talk about, because I got 10 points that I really want to talk about. Not that I'm like a really good player or whatever, but these are like 10 things that I noticed that I was doing that helped me to improve. You know, I remember like hitting a plateau, and then I started trying other things. I started watching all these like mentality videos, these like practicing videos, and so I started like accumulating all this information, and I kind of want to just like present that. It's just like, bleh, you know, a data dump of things that I've learned that I think other people can do and other people can learn from. So as usual, I'm gonna play some games in the background. Let me know if in like these types of videos, if you want like lo-fi playing in the background. I know Ramses does that. He has like lo-fi playing in the background. I just have the game playing, so let me know what you guys think. So my first point, these are kind of scaling. As you get higher in the point number, the closer you get to 10, the more complicated they get. The first point is beating up CPUs. This is honestly just like for general practice, playing against, you know, you could call it shadowboxing, where you put yourself in a situation and you just practice. Personally, I will set the CPU to just like level 3, a random CPU, or maybe a character that you struggle with. Maybe you want to learn how to combo them. I know of min players who would play against Rob to get it to shoot out the gyro so they can practice 0 to deaths with min gyro. But the training dummy, the training room dummy also works. I know Tweak plays against the training room dummy on his stream to like kill time, practice movement and such when he's just like talking. It can just be something super chill. I set my matches to 99 stocks and 20 minutes. You can adjust the timing, obviously, but that's just what I do. And I try to mix up how I take stocks, and I try to see how many stocks I can take in those 20 minutes. Obviously, it can be pretty easy because the CPUs are really bad. But I know, like, that's how Armada did it when he was playing in Sweden. And I think there is some benefit to actually doing that. So that's kind of the first point. The second point is obviously labbing. Lab your combos, lab your kill confirms, see how far you can go off stage, all that stuff. That's you need to know that. You need to practice it. Yeah, you gotta know your stuff. You gotta know how your character moves, how far out you can go. I've lost matches because I've lost bracket matches because I thought I could go out this distance and I just barely didn't make it back. But like, had I practiced it, maybe I would have known that that's too far. You know, you got to know when you're overextending. You don't need to be like a lab rat. You don't need to be fucking in the lab 5 hours every day. But like, what's 30 minutes, right? What's 30 minutes every couple of days or something? What's 20 minutes every couple of days? As like your warm up, you know? Why not just like warm up in the lab and then go play friendlies or something? The next one is playing in tournaments. Obviously, you won't get better without putting yourself into these competitive environments where you need to perform. You need to be able to do this on demand. Personally, I recommend Wi-Fi tournaments if you don't have locals. I know locals are sort of kind of opening up depending on where you live in the United States. So locals may not even be an option for you. So if they aren't, obviously, Wi-Fi tournaments, even if they are available to you, I still do recommend playing in a Wi-Fi tournament in between some locals. But just remember, it's Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi sucks. Everybody knows this. So don't take them too seriously. Just play to learn. Play to practice a kill confirm, practice edge guarding, practice juggling, something like that. But in a tournament environment where there's a stake. Play seriously, but not super stressful. Things are going to happen that are outside of your control. Your Wi-Fi cuts out. The game lags for You know, it lags for a second in the match. You call for a lag test. Your opponent calls for a lag test, and then all of a sudden you get lag checked. And it lags that time, but it didn't lag at all during the day. Stuff like that happens, and you know, you just gotta like brush it off. You know, it's Wi-Fi. A lot of us get tournament nerves. You know, tournament nerves are super normal. I think pretty much everybody gets them. So playing in tournaments gets you exposed to those feelings. They get you exposed to that environment where you have to perform, you have to play well, there's stakes. So putting yourself in that environment more will get you more accustomed to those feelings. It also helps you learn what you can and cannot eat, drink, and do to meet your mental and physical needs before a tournament. Because you want to be playing at your peak performance, you know. Personally, I think this is the hardest one on this list is VOD review. Bro, I hate watching myself play. But as much as you hate it, you got to do it. If you want to get better, I think this is one of the most important on this list. I try to watch all of my own. Obviously, sometimes I'm lazy and I don't watch all of them. But there are definitely key sets that I watch. You know, maybe I lost really hard. Maybe I won really hard. Or maybe it's just a matchup that I'm not comfortable with. You know, I watch them. I try to watch them. And you know what? If you don't want to watch them, you can literally pay somebody to do it. Personally, I use Coach Ramsey's. Shout out to Ramsey's Esports. He's my preference. But his style may not be yours. So, like, shop around, you know? You don't have to send a whole bunch of VODs. You can send, like, one game, you know? And just have that one game get. Maybe you lost, like, a Game 5 or Game 3. And you're like, man, I don't know what I did wrong. I was playing really well, but then I got reverse 3-0'd. Or, you know, I got reverse 3-stocked. What happened? Maybe you just aren't seeing the bigger picture. So having, like, a second perspective really helps. Yeah, watching those hard losses, it sucks. But, like, you gotta watch them. You have to learn. Even if you don't take notes, just watching it and, like, trying to make, like, a mental note. I try to take notes, but and if you don't know what to focus on, I know VOD review can kind of be like a big wall that not everybody knows how to climb. Focus on your own habits, you know. Maybe not focus on what your opponent does, but focus especially on what you do. Such as, what did I do with the ledge? You know, what ledge option was I picking a lot? Do you accidentally SD a stock? How was I recovering? Was I recovering high? Was I recovering low? Was I getting edge guarded? How often did I go high or low? What did I do out of shield? Did I always nair out of shield? Did I always roll? Did I always spot dodge? How did I ledge trap? Did I always go for the same sequence, you know? Did I always go for Inkling, Splat Bomb, Down Smash? Did I always go for that? Did I always hit a button? I get hit, did I always do a landing down air? Did I always go for a landing neutral air? Did I always go for a fast follow neutral air dodge? Stuff like that you gotta ask yourself. Next one, watch people who play your character at a higher level, and then try to implement it. So if you see somebody do something that you don't do, try to figure out why they're doing what they're doing, and then implement it into your own gameplay, right? So, like, I love math, right? If I weren't, like, an engineer, I would definitely try to be, like, a math professor. And from math, I learned you cannot learn math effectively by watching somebody else do it. You have to practice it. You have to do it. And you have to understand why. You know, you have to understand why you have to do a trig substitute to solve this integral. You know, you have to know why to do it. Sometimes you just have to figure it out on your own. But yeah, try to implement it into your own gameplay, because that's learning it and, like, applying it to your understanding is how you learn it. If somebody is using your character, they probably have a better understanding of what the character does at, like, a fundamental level. They may not be as cool or as flashy, but, like, sometimes that's not what wins tournaments. Sometimes just playing to the character's strengths. Sometimes that's just what wins tournaments. Also, I have no idea how I grabbed the ledge after that. I saved that replay so I could rewatch it. I don't know how I did that. Because you're not supposed to be able to grab the ledge from behind with Pyro, from what I understand. Maybe you can. Number 6, play a lot of friendlies. Fucking fiend friendlies. This one's the easiest, but I think it's also like actually kind of difficult. I'll explain. I say this one's easy, but be sure to find somebody you can consistently play with. So, you know, like an hour-long session or something, or join like a grind Discord server, where you can ping a matchmaking role, or find people who just want to play. I made a video about this just a couple days ago talking about improving with friendlies, so I'm not going to like harp on it too much here, but the general gist is like, be sure to have the right mindset for friendlies. You know, this happened last time. X, oh, there we go. Be sure to have the right mindset. You know, they're for improvement, not to count your wins and losses. You know, you shouldn't go into friendlies and be like, oh yeah, I was beating this guy like super hard in friendlies, yada yada yada. Like, no, that's not the point. The point is, were you improving? Were you doing something that you maybe weren't confident in? Go into your play session with a goal in mind. Like, I want to do that. I want to land X combo. I want to land Y combo. I want to try this at the ledge. I want to try this ledge trapping sequence. I want to ledge trump more. I want to juggle or shark more. You know, I'm not really good at those. I want to edge guard with Mithra more. You know, you have to go in with like that sort of idea, because like, I'll tell you what, 2 weeks ago, I couldn't land Mithra down tilt to neutral B to save my life, and I talked about that. Now it's becoming like second nature because I've just been grinding it whenever I can play friendlies. I've also started looking at like, okay, well, I want to space my tilts on shield better. I want to space my aerials better. I want to focus on stage control. So like, you know, you learn it, it becomes second nature. You focus on something else that you can always improve. And sometimes you have to go back. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, I'm not landing this confirm as often, so maybe I should go back and practice it. Number 7. This is much more of a mentality, but learn how to lose. Losing is just as important to competition as winning is, right? Because losing is the equal and opposite reaction to winning. There's as much to learn from losing as there is to learn from winning. You can almost always take something away from a loss. And saying I suck is not a good takeaway. You have to think critically. You have to really think critically about why'd you lose. You know, all right, you got 3 stock. You got JV4. What did you do wrong? Find something, latch onto it, and say this is a reason why I lost. This may not be the reason, but this is a reason I lost. This is something I can improve on. Another thing, don't call your opponent carried, or like say that they're only mashing brainlessly. To me, this creates this mentality where you blame other people for your losses instead of yourself. So, because if you sit there and you say, oh, this person was just mashing, but like, to me, that's putting the onus of you losing, you're putting that onto them. You are like, you doing this is the reason I lost, as opposed to thinking like, well, what could I have done to prevent that? It is like the reason you lost, but like, I feel like it's saying I should have won because I'm a better player and I wasn't mashing. You know, like, I think it's important to find that distinction. And to me, it creates a weird superiority perspective where you think anybody you lose to is actually just worse than you. Like, own it, dude. You lost. Own your loss and move on. Learn from it. Learn from your loss. If you lost due to somebody mashing on you, like, well, what could you have done? What could you have done differently? And saying, oh, well, my character just sucks is not. That's not it. No, dude, that's not it. As a part of learning how to lose, salt is important. Too much salt is not good. Too little salt, I think, can also hurt you. But like having enough salt to be like, man, that was so close. I could have won. I'm pissed I lost. Like, good. Want the win. You want to fucking crave that win. You know, like, you want that dub. Like, that's important because then you go back, you hit the lab, you hit the friendlies, you find somebody who plays that character, and you're like, I'm gonna grind this matchup until I learn it. You know, like, that's so important. That is so important. That's your competitive drive. Like, that's what you need. Number 8, ask for advice. You are never too good to ask for advice. Your opponent is never too bad for you to not ask for advice, right? Sometimes you just don't want advice, and that's fine. You don't always have to ask for advice or always want advice, and you never have to want unsolicited advice. right? And what I mean by that is like, you never want to lose and then have your opponent just look at you and be like, you know, just like start spouting off this advice. But if they do, like, take it and guess what? Discern it. Like, sit there and think, is this good or bad advice? Do I think this is good or bad advice? And what was really important to me was I was watching Zane, right? And in case if you don't know who Zane is, Zane's like one of the top 5 melee players right now. He's a Marth player. And Zane said in one of his videos or one of his streams, he was like, yeah, I just asked Twitch chat for advice. He was playing against, I don't remember if it was Axe or not, but he was playing a Pikachu. And he asked for advice, and somebody in chat just said, neutral B off stage. And he did it, and it started working. So, like, if Zane can take advice from Twitch chat, right, where the number of concurrent viewers drops the average IQ by 1, right? Where that, like, Twitch chat can give advice that a top level player can look at and be like, why not? You know, that to me proves that, like, you're never too good for advice. That being said, don't ask blanket questions, all right? You ask a broad question, you get a broad answer. So when you are playing friendlies in this grind server and say last one, you play your last one, you win or you lose. Let's say you lose, right? Because I think it's more typical for the loser to ask for advice. And you say, any advice? Yeah, you're losing. Be better. You know, like, I don't know what you're expecting by saying any advice. Or they might say, like, oh, yeah, your advantage today wasn't that good. Your disadvantage, maybe there's, like, 1 or 2 habits that they can pick out for you, you know? But, like, asking a specific question gets a specific response. What's the example I have? Oh, be specific. Like, say, I was losing to X move. How do you think my character can get around that? How do you think I can beat that? Or was there a specific option you're looking for me to choose when I was above you? You know, you hit me. Were you looking for me to air dodge? And was I air dodging a lot after you hit me? Those get way better and more specific responses. And they also start your discussion, right? And, like, getting into that discussion where you're talking about the matches and you're thinking about the matches, thinking, well, this is what I was doing wrong. This is what my opponent was looking at. Like, your opponent's perspective is so important. This isn't a 1-player game. This is a 2-player game. You're playing against another human, right? You're playing against somebody who thinks and reacts just like you do. And you need to get that perspective. Number 9, believing in your character. I think it's really easy to sit there and be like, man, my character sucks. Man, my character's multi-hit doesn't work. My character sucks. Dude, I lose this matchup, my character sucks. Certainly not going to put any blame on any top-level player for starting this mentality, because I don't know if you can specifically, but, for example, Mars has his whole ZSS sucks, right? It's haha funny. He puts the character in, like, high tier. Like, top of high tier, just outside of top tier. But, like, he's obviously a different case from, like, our level of play. Like, if you don't believe in your character and you want results, like, what are you doing? You know? And people say their character sucks, right? And then they downplay their main so much to, like, validate themselves in losing, to make them feel better about losing. And I say this because I played Smash 4 Charizard. You know, I mained Charizard in a world with Smash 4 Bayonetta, Smash 4 Rosalina, Smash 4 Zero, Smash 4 Diddy. You think I had a fun time playing those matches? No. You know how many times I said, oh, well, if I win, I'm better, and if I lose, then my character sucks. You know, like, that's the type of shit I'm talking about, and that's so bad. That's so horrible. Like, don't do that. That's so bad. I'm sure that stunted me so much, and I had huge character pride. Like, people will start forming these, like, victim and superiority complexes where they think they're better than their opponent because now they play a harder character. Well, my character is not as good. My character kind of sucks. So I'm better than you because I have to play a harder character, but I'm, like, limiting myself. Like, what? Like, I can see the gears turning to, like, draw that conclusion, but, like, what? You know, like, why? Why do people want to, like, have the hardest character? You know, like, what does it do? It just like justifies. I don't even know. It just like makes you feel validated in losing, or it makes you feel better about winning. Like, I don't know. But like if you spent half the time actually trying to improve that you do complaining about your character, like we wouldn't even be having this discussion. You would be better. Your character most likely isn't even that bad. It's asterisk next to that. Obviously there are some just not great characters. But if you're playing like a high tier or top tier, like you don't really. I don't think you really have like huge grounds to complain. But I will say I think every character deserves to have their multi-hits work. I want to say that, or at least be consistent. Like I don't think that you should use the multi-hit. You shouldn't have to lab your multi-hit for it to not work. You know, like I'm prepared for my move to not work. That's bad. I don't think that's good. But you know, if they fall out of your move, like there's a million factors that could have led to that character falling out of the move. But like, bro, you got to start acting like your character's good, you know? Because if you think your character's just bad, then like, I don't think you're gonna be able to like have the confidence you need to win. Right? So like Steve, huge topic to talk about. Steve players doing pretty good right now. Do you think that they're doing good because they say he sucks? Like, this character is good. I say fuck no. They started practicing him and believing that he's broken. Like, I was having a conversation with a Steve player, you know who you are, months ago. It was months ago, maybe like January, right? It's May. And I said he might be high tier. He might be high tier, right? I just don't see it. I said until I start seeing the Twitter tech implemented into real matches, I personally don't see him as a top tier or like a high tier or whatever. And he was like, nah, dude, this character is broken. And I was like, agree to disagree. Now look at what's happening, right? Steve players are getting good results, and they believe in him. They believe he's broken. And like that's what you need. You need to believe that your character's good. Like look at Esam, right? Esam's just like Pika busted, Pika broken. Like that's part of his personality, you know? He has so much faith in his character. And like you should too. You should believe in your character. Last piece of advice is have fun. Kind of cliche, but like I think it's really easy to lose yourself. It's really easy to lose why you play Smash. In like the world of results. And the world of results, oh shoot. And tournaments, it's really easy to just like forget to have fun playing the game. But like that's so important. You have to enjoy this game. If you aren't enjoying it, I think, and you want to keep playing, I think you need to find, you know, you have to like rekindle that fire, that passion for the game. So like the advice I had was don't play so much that you burn yourself out. You know, take breaks. I believe in quality over quantity. So I will play a 2-hour session with somebody where I'm really focusing and really like trying to improve, like how I described earlier with friendlies. And then that's all I'll play for the day, right? I might lab for a little bit or something to warm up, but like that's all I do. But like you also need to take care of yourself. So yeah, take those breaks. You know, talk to your friends, have discussion. I know Void and Charles were talking about when Void was improving, they would play for, you know, an hour or two, and then they would discuss for 20-30 minutes. And then they would go back to playing. Like, that's so important to have that break to, like, digest what's going on. Because Smash is a fast game. But, you know, you gotta take care of yourself. You can't improve the game. You can't improve if you aren't taking care of yourself. Yeah, and I said it shorter, but more improvement-focused play sessions are far healthier than long, mindless grind sessions. You know, if you feel, like, numb and, like, brain rot by the end of a play session, you probably played too much, you know, unless you want to play like mindless friendlies, like that's fine. If you just want to like play random and just play until you're feel like your eyes are falling out, or like, oh, you know, whatever, that's fine. But if you're aiming to improve, I do think that like shorter, more improvement focused is like the way to go. That's so sad that didn't hit though. I just want to say that. So yeah, those are kind of like my 10 tips. I hope I didn't lose anybody throughout this whole video. This one's a bit of a long one. This one's a talker. I'll try to link each time, or like each topic in the description. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is a long video, and I really enjoy these. Dude, I just love talking about Smash. I could talk about Smash all day long. I have opinions. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. That sucks. I'll finish off this match and then we'll finish the video. Anything else I wanted to say? Yeah. Honestly, these are the things that I did to improve, where I got like noticeable better results. I was like top 8ing in Wi-Fi turn. You know, there were still like Wi-Fi turns, but like my results were better. So hopefully these will help you. Each one, you know, you don't have to take each one. Maybe you can pick and choose whatever works for you. So yeah, I really hope that you improve. Truly. So yeah, everybody have yourselves a good rest of your day. Good night. Make sure to sleep, hydrate, eat some food, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.